Hello. Can anyone hear me now? Yes? Yes. Yes. Yay. Okay, fantastic. Welcome, everyone, to Movie Club number 4. Um, this is the fourth movie club. See some new faces, some familiar faces. That's great. We're talking about Mandy this time. Um, so, same as before, there's like a little hand emoji in the top right of your screen. If you want to talk, just hit that, then I'll invite you up, and then you can join the discussion. If you're in the audience, it's just kind of like a listen thing, so it's up to you. So yeah, Mandy, pretty crazy movie, 2018, Nicolas Cage. It was picked by Sana, who goes by Mindful of Movies on Pelaplat. So I'm gonna kick things off. Last time she had mic issues. Hopefully the mic works this time. We'll see. But I'm gonna invite Sana up here to kind of introduce this movie and talk about kind of why she picked it and her initial thoughts. Um, if you want to request to speak, Sana, I can get you up here. Yay! Thanks. Hi, Sana.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can. I can hear you. Yeah,
Yes, okay, it worked. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm gonna speak for the audience and say everyone's doing good. So happy to be
All
here.
right.
Happy that we're still doing this.
Okay, for some reason the camera's not working, so we're just gonna go with this.
That's okay.
Um, Hi guys. I chose Mandy because Google told me to. I was a little bit intimidated, not gonna lie, for choosing movies because you guys seem to have seen everything. Um, yeah, I like Nicolas Cage. I was like, this seems cool. This seems interesting. Um, And yeah, so Mandy, I'm assuming you guys have all seen it. I really liked it. I've heard mixed reviews about it. Um, but like, sorry.
No worries.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
hey.
I think it worked. Hello. Yeah, it's a vibe. I really liked the music. I really love the colors. You were talking about like how you thought the beginning was slow, so I thought maybe we could kind of agree to disagree on that or just debate that a little bit more.
Sure, sure. You want me to start? Yeah, no,
Yes, yes.
I thought it was a slow start. I thought, obviously, as I do, I wrote an article about it on Pelaplat. It's what I do, but I just felt like the movie wanted is just it's a revenge story, and it wanted to get there, but he just tacked on. Strangely enough, usually I find a lot of movies will tack stuff onto the end where you're like, oh, like wrap it up. But this one, it was like tack it on to the start with Nick Cage and Mandy's kind of romance, which was fine. I mean, I love a good romance, like I said, but it just went on for so long, and I think it could have been avoided also if the scenes were a bit shorter, like I wrote in the article, like he lingers on his shots for so long, like he just doesn't cut the camera, and it just was. It's called it is called it was atmospheric. There was too much atmosphere. I was
See, I
suffocating in the
disagree.
atmosphere. But what did you think about the star? You really liked it.
Well, okay, I didn't really like it, but I think like going back, at first I was like, okay, this is super weird because I genuinely was not prepared for what I was watching. But yeah, I'm in agreement with Matthew and Scott. Like, it was all about the atmosphere. It was all about like emotion. Like, I think this is the one movie that was visually manifesting what Fred was feeling. And so you kind of see that like I think they needed to establish this like calmness before the storm because then they have like all this havoc. My one thing was like the Starling story. I wish they connected that a little bit more.
Hmm.
Like I do agree with you. Like I think the pacing felt a little bit longer, mostly because they didn't connect it back to the revenge story. Like they just sidelined her death at the end. Um, that's another argument. I don't know if anyone disagrees or agrees with that. But I was like, yeah, this is a vibe. This is what I want. This is poetry right here.
Hmm. it was pretty poetic with the the way they developed the two characters. I just felt like with I was really enjoying the Mandy character and her development and the way like again like the Starling story was totally fine and interesting and the shots of them in the house were nice, but with her death coming so kind of not even in the middle like just before the middle of the movie, I was like, oh, I guess that's the end of her story, you know. And then it was just the Nick Cage story getting his revenge, which obviously was crazy, totally insane. And but the thing is, I don't know. I know I wrote it, but I have been kind of going back and forth with it because some of the Mandy stuff when she gets abducted by the cult was really cool, and it was parts that I really liked as well. So maybe I was being a bit dismissive to be like, oh yeah, cut the whole thing. But yeah.
Yeah, no, see, like I do agree with you. Like there were some shots that I'm like, okay, like we can move on here. But I think my again my main comment, I think you mentioned it too, was that they sidelined her death. You for something that's like she was pivotal to the becoming of Red, and I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted kind of some sort of tie back to it. Like I thought she was gonna be resurrected. I thought there was gonna be some sort of surrealism to do with her. The car scene at the end was incredible. I loved it, and like him being at the epitome of his high was amazing. Um, but yeah, I was just like, I feel like she needs to be bigger or like have some sort of omnipresence even within the fights or something in his high that kind of showcased that like his revenge was solely because of her. Oh, I think Gwen wants to speak up.
Gwen's coming up. Let's get her up here.
Yay.
Hi, Gwen.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Mhm.
I didn't want to cut you off, Sana, but I wanted to say that like most of my favorite scenes were the ones with Mandy when she was abducted, like you were saying, Lucas. Like I found even when the revenge part of the movie got going, at a certain point I just kind of checked out because it was kind of a lot of the same stuff, but I found like all the scenes with Mandy, especially when she gets abducted by the cult and when she's talking to his name. I have it written down. His character's name, the cult leader, the guy Linus Roach plays.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
that scene was really interesting when she was laughing at him, and I wanted more of that. And then she disappeared from the movie, kind of like you were saying, Sana. And the next time we saw her, she was in a bag. So I
Yeah,
had mixed feelings about that.
exactly. Also, I think you're 100 the shaming her like her fighting back against that cult leader, I thought that was the best way they could have gone about it. Like his insecurities come brought to the surface, like they were subverted, the power dynamics seriously just through her gaze. I was like, that's fun. I'm on board with that. I want more of that.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly how I felt. That's why I'm kind of in between the two of you. Like, like Scott said in the chat, it is kind of like two different movies. And if you're on board for that, then it's a fun ride, but I wanted a little bit more connective tissue between the two for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the felt like two movies, even though it has a very cohesive style to it. Story wise, it felt like two.
Mhm.
Let's get Jen up here. I feel like she's gonna have some hot takes.
Hello.
Hey, Jen.
Hang on, getting my camera up. Hello. Um, I got
She's got notes.
I got notes.
Oh no.
The notes are back.
I mean, I am of two minds with the beginning. No, I'm in the office. Just kidding. I'm at home. Um, I thought the first hour was too slow, and I get it's building atmosphere and it's setting up for what will be the second half, but it's like I wanted a shorter setup, but I also wanted more of Mandy. So it's kind of hard. I feel like maybe I felt that way because I felt like in order for Red's revenge journey to feel earned, I wanted to understand more of like why Mandy and why their connection was so strong. There were like sprinkles, there were tidbits of like nice moments with them and like. Mandy kind of monologuing a bit, but. it's kind of like the John Wick thing where I'm like, okay, all we see is like a flashback of your wife, and I'm supposed to believe that like all of this is for that. Like, show me more characterization of Mandy so I can also be as like, oh, we have to get revenge. Um, and also like I think it would have been interesting if maybe the cult like took Mandy and like he was trying to find her the whole time. And yeah, because we all want to see more of Mandy. I felt like maybe it was a bit of a cop out for the writer director to kill Mandy so early in the movie. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Bob. Um, because she had the potential to, go to her more throughout the thing, find out more about her, and she had the potential to be a really interesting female character that I don't think the writer director could actually write. I think if you can't write a female character that's like interesting and strong, they just kill her so they don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, they freaked her
And
really hard.
yeah, and it's like, at what point is it just like we're using this murder of a woman to just forward this like very male rage revenge story? Um, and I guess I just didn't really care enough about Mandy from what they showed about her for me to be like, why does the cult guy care so much? Why is it Mandy? Like, yeah, they were like Nick Cage and her were like married and they were sweet, but like they didn't seem to have much going on. I don't know. That was just my take on the opening, and then when we get to other topics, I can chime back in.
Wait, I want to add something to your point though, because I was kind of like that too. I was like, the title is Mandy. It's supposed to be all Mandy, and she's not there. It's just Nick Cage. And then I feel like if you take a step back and you're like, okay, like the whole story is just Nick Cage's story. Like it's his emotions in the beginning, it's his emotions at the end. Like I feel like they didn't go for plot. They went for vibes. Like they were going for just just the visual manifestation of grief as it builds. And on like if you're following it in that way, I was like, okay, yeah, I can get on board with this. But yes,
Yeah,
more
I
Mandy.
I like what Scott just said, where like, especially in the second half, when Nick Cage is in full blown action, like the lines he says, like it is quite silly and like overdone and like stuff like that. And I did enjoy that, and I don't want to like write it off by saying it's like style over substance, but it pretty much is. Um, I don't know if the style is for me.
That's fair.
So, and there's no substance, so like what's left?
Vibes
The only substance
and
was
really cool shots.
that brown sludge that Nick Cage drinks that sends him over the edge. I don't know
I
what.
love the bathroom scene
Yeah,
um
I
that
had
you
I
just
had
mentioned,
qualms with
Scott.
it. It was good, but I was
Really?
like, I laughed when I saw it at first. Like, I
Yeah.
think it was a perfect scene, but I was just confused because like there was an interview with the director and he was like, I was confused, or he was confused that people were laughing at that scene, which was interesting to me. I don't know what you guys
but
thought.
You
I
didn't
thought
like that people were laughing at it?
No, I was laughing at it and it took me by surprise because I'm like, oh, I thought this was supposed to be like this moment of grief, and then the genre shifts all over again.
I mean, that's like
Mm.
this classic Nick Cage going over the top, but it felt like it worked for me. I mean, I read on the because I was reading the Wikipedia page a couple days ago, and they said that his character is a former alcoholic. I didn't get that when I watched it, but I guess
He
that
denied a beer really early on in the movie, like in
okay.
the helicopter on the way back from
Yeah,
Oh,
lumberjacking.
yeah. And
okay.
then like that bottle of vodka was like hidden somewhere. It was like a
Right.
secret stash or something that
Yeah.
he like pulled out.
Mm.
That I didn't get it when I was watching either. But now that you mention it, it makes sense. And I do remember seeing the beer pop up for like a frame and being like, "Oh, that was weird."
But it
I
just
took a note of it because I thought it might be relevant later, so that's why it's in my head.
I see. Well, it was a little bit. It just I like that scene. That was my favorite scene in the movie, honestly. Um, I felt like it was, yeah, it's like Nick Cage going over the top. That's what he does. It's kind of what he's known for. But in that instance, um, it fit because he had just been through something that was very over the top. You know, like he had just clawed his wrists out of barbed wire and watched his girlfriend, wife, love of his life get burned alive, and then he like goes home, and then the way his emotion escalates as he drinks more liquor, as the gets into his system, and he becomes more and more. He goes from just like pity to rage to like everything at once. Um, I don't know. It worked for me. It worked for me big time. Um, but yeah,
Love the mountain of coke on the glass shard. That was
yeah,
Best
awesome.
scene.
That was
yeah.
so funny.
That was his
I was
Scarface
laughing
moment.
by then. And then what do you guys think about the tiger shirt and then the tiger in the cage showing up near the
Mm,
end of the movie?
Also, did anyone watch through the credits at the end? There's a little post credits thing.
I didn't see it. What happens?
No.
It's
What?
just like a still image kind of thing of Mandy's drawings from the start, and it's drawn him with a tiger.
It's
Oh,
an allusion to like his movie
interesting.
Primal or something. I was like, if we're going for
I don't know
vibes.
the connection,
Yeah, I don't know.
but
Is it because he's the lion and he's going solo or something? Tiger, whatever.
I don't know. It could
it's
be.
just vibes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Vancouver.
I don't know Tiger lore pretty that well, but yeah.
Yeah, I need to do some research about the tiger. No, but I think yeah, I feel like the thing for me was that the beginning set it up like I was supposed to be reading into the narrative, especially with the Starling monologue, and then like like Scott said in the second half, I was like, oh, I don't, it's fine. I don't care anymore.
Mm.
We're gonna have a fun time, and there's gonna be chainsaws, and there's a lot of red colors, and I don't really know what's happening, and I don't know if it was my thing, but I enjoyed it in the moment.
And it was a fun time. I mean, once it got going, once the body started to hit the floor and Nick Cage went full rage mode, it was sweet. Like I don't I wasn't crazy about the scene where he like crafts an axe. I don't know where that was given Iron Man 2 for me personally, but
What are you talking about? That was awesome.
yeah, it was just so random. He was like, "Oh, I'm just a guy who lives in the forest, but now I'm welding." But I guess he could. He worked with chainsaws all his life, I suppose. But
I love that his safety goggles are aviators.
that was very sick. That was very. Even when you're in grief, you still gotta have style. You know, I think that was the moral. But yeah, then once it started going crazy, it was just such a wild trip of a ride, and there was that one scene kind of in the later half where it's kind of after he takes the weird potion drugs, and where it's kind of, I don't know how, he's got like the lights on the roof and he meets that guy that we hadn't like seen before. Um, that was kind of weird. I didn't quite know what that was all about, but because it didn't really fit with the rest of the movie. But I think he might have just been hallucinating. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I had a hard time telling the cult people apart. I'm not gonna lie. They were all like blonde, weird-looking men with semi-long hair, and I was like, which one are you?
mhm.
I don't know. But I mean, so I have a question. Do you guys think that those were actually aliens, or was it a shared hallucination?
I really hope they're aliens.
I hope they are too.
You know, my major qualm with this is that he welded that weird spear thingy and then never used it. Like used it once maybe.
Hmm.
I like the chainsaw fight. I was like, why is he not using the actual thingy?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, because the guy had a bigger chainsaw than he.
I know, but like it would have been so cool had he like at one point brought it back up.
It was, yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Also, I
I want to
thought it
know
was
where the big long
with
chainsaw came from.
I like that
that too.
weapon. That was one of my favorite weapons.
'Cause I thought the him welding it had something to do with the aliens or something, like maybe the metal that he used. Like I don't know why my mind I was like, if we're going absurd anyway, then maybe this has to do with the aliens and then nothing.
Hmm.
I
I don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know. Um, because by that point, yeah, I don't even know really who he was fighting. I was just interested. in how he was going to kill the next guy, honestly. Um, and then it was kind of when he got into the house, it was kind of making me think of that face-off scene when he gets really drunk in the house that ends up getting shot up. I kind of thought that that was where it was going to go, but it it didn't. But that's what it reminded me of that, especially after he did the coke off the glass. I was like, "Oh, fun little thing."
Yeah, once Nick Cage entered the the cult's like lair or whatever, I stopped really caring about what anything could possibly mean, and I was like, I'm here for the violence. I want to see, and it provided. Got a lot of good kills. Um, yeah,
What do you guys think of the last fight scene when he like meets the real church leader?
when he like that starts with him like dropping the girl's head down or whatever, and then he jumps down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't much of a fight.
Doesn't he
I
just
don't
kill him?
know. He did kill him.
Yeah, basically. I don't know. I was like, it's a little anticlimactic for what it built up to. I just wanted to know you guys' opinion.
Yeah, they could have made it
Yeah.
a bigger battle. They did the whole battle with the chainsaw fight. I felt like that was like their big battle, and once that could have been like the final boss battle, but instead they did it a couple times before that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
felt like I was kind of tuning out near in the last 10 minutes again. Like, I just thought the pacing was so uneven. It was like a perfect, like, 45-minute chunk from like the bathroom scene to kind of when he goes into the church. And
Hmm.
then after that, I was like, all right, wrap it up.
I see.
It was a boring poem.
Got a couple new speakers here. Any who wants to hop up? Matthew, how are you? Silent treatment, eh? I get it. Ishika? Oh yeah, it's okay. We got time.
No, I just wanted to say hi. I'm just happy to be here.
What do you think of the movie?
Um, it wasn't my favorite. Like, it just wasn't my type of movie, but I get why, because it's very highly rated. Like, critical response is really well. Like I get why people vibe with it. Just for me, when I go into a Nick Cage movie, I know it's gonna be campy, and he's very campy, and that's fine, and I like that. I like laugh anytime he's on screen saying anything. But I think the themes and the motifs they were trying to explore in the movie were like serious and important, and I couldn't take them seriously because of Nick Cage and like his campiness, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Um, like it just immediately makes me think this movie's like a satire or something. That's a you problem. Yes, that is a me problem. That's what I just said.
Hello.
So,
Uh,
yeah. So that's my kind of take on the thing. I have more, but I'll add in later.
yeah, there's time. Matt, what's going on? What do you think of this movie? I know you're a fan, right?
Uh, I'm a fan. I didn't get a chance to rewatch it before this, but I have seen it a couple times in the past. So, my takes might not be the most fresh or coherent
That's all right.
compared to all of you, but I also don't remember what I was buzzing in to talk about because I had to reassign my inputs on everything.
Chainsaw fight,
I think
final
it
boss
was, oh,
battle.
right. It was about the final boss.
Yeah.
I think I kind of like how it was a little anticlimactic at the end because you show him going through all of this stuff and fighting all of these demons, and then you get to the big bad, and it turns out that he's kind of just a whiny little bitch, and he gets dealt with very quickly and immediately because he's not the god that he thinks he is, and he's not all that, and he's not, a demon monster killer. He's just a dude, and he gets dealt with accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely was power tripping throughout this movie. Like there was that one scene this is earlier in the movie when he's like lying in bed and he brings the like old lady to like talk to him, and it's a very long scene as is the case with this movie. But yeah, it just kind of shows him how he manipulates people pretty much. He's like a classic manipulator. Um, and
Toxic man.
Yeah, and as long as he keeps everyone high on crazy hallucinogenics, no one's gonna stop him because that's how it works. I mean, it works. It's worked in real life. It's creepy enough, but yeah, I,
I
I
want
I see what you're saying, Matt, about
to.
it being anticlimactic and kind of in a positive way, though. Sorry, go ahead, Senna.
No, I got excited. I thought you were done. I'm so sorry.
I'm done now. Yeah.
I just want to pull up
You just got
Scott's.
excited because he was done speaking?
Yeah, of course.
No, no, that's not what I meant. You guys know what I mean. Lucas, let's move on.
Yeah,
I just wanted to bring up Scott's comment. Like it's a satire and it's talking about seriously. And Ishiga, like I think the really cool thing about this thing, and I keep going back to emotions and the visual manifestation because it goes back to the music too. Like I forget his name, Johan Johansson, who created the soundtrack. Incredible music, and I think it worked with the visual background. Like I think, again, on screen, everything that you see in terms of like the color, the compositions, these shots, they're all emotional, they're all serious, and then you have Nick Cage. And I think that's the perfect balance as to like what that grief looks like. You know, you have the unserious side of it, but you also have like this continuous reality of what that grief looks like. That's all I want to mention, but
I wanted to ask about the music because the movie starts with like an epigraph of talking about rock and roll. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, there's gonna be, yeah, like the King Crimson was definitely loud and awesome as like the opening song. That was great. But with the words at the start or like the quote about rock and roll, I was actually a little bit underwhelmed with the music in this movie because with that kickoff, I was like, oh, this thing is gonna like pound, and I don't know, maybe it's just 'cause I was watching on my rinky-dink TV and like I didn't have like I wasn't in a theater or anything like that, but it
That's
just
probably part of it.
yeah, I just felt like it was just like a standard, like it was cool, but like I don't know, I thought there was gonna be more. I thought it was gonna be really prevalent or like some sort of musical themes, you know. But it was more like Tiger themed and Starlink themed. But
I do not agree. I thought the music was the kind of the through line for the whole movie, honestly. I was
Agreed.
just looking too, and I don't know if this is true. Wikipedia told me, so take it with a grain of salt. But apparently, the director um, gave Johansson the Queen soundtrack to Flash Gordon as inspiration, which makes a lot of sense to me. And it makes me like it more just because I like Queen, which is not a
I don't
good
know if that
reason,
makes
but it is
sense
my
to me.
reason.
They seem like two very different sounds
Yeah, not
between the two.
necessarily that they sound the same, but more that they add this like bombastic feeling to the movie a lot of the time, I felt.
That makes sense.
Matt, did you like the music in this?
Yeah, from what I remember,
Right.
I remember liking it quite a bit. I think the last time I watched it was on a big TV with loud surround sound, so I probably got to really get the full experience. I think it's just good at, building atmosphere. It works well with the visuals. It can be sort of minimal and under the radar when it needs to be, and then also lift up into this like oppressive sound, like a wall of sound that hits you over the parts when it needs to. And yeah, I don't know. I would have definitely liked a little bit more, some more actual needle drops of more like King Crimson kind of stuff, or more other space classic rock kind of songs throughout. But you gotta pay Nick Cage, so you can't afford Pink Floyd on your soundtrack 5 times. It's just, it's how it goes. But I don't know. I like the music quite a bit, personally.
Fair. DC, I saw you hopped up on here. What are your thoughts?
Hey guys.
How's it going?
Well, I was just when you were talking about the music, I remember when I watched the movie a couple years ago for the first time. I went online. I liked it, so I went online to, you know, read about it. And a lot of people, I think even the director in I don't know some interview said that he thought the story or the way he thought about it was more like a rock opera kind of like concept album kind of thing. I mean, and I'm not like a super fan of that kind of music, but when you think about it, kind of makes sense. Like a really big character that is like, you know, out of this world, goes on like a quest, and it's a simple story. You know, it's supposed to be a simple story you can tell through rock songs, and like, and that's also like why I think some of the images come from. Like, he's fighting demons on bikes, and he's it's all about drugs, and he's a, well, not a truck driver, but he could be. Like, I feel like a lot of the, like, the images behind it are from that kind of like rock opera kind of thing, and that like larger than life character going on a quest and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I get that, and the rock opera stuff leads back. That would make sense with the Queen reference from earlier, because Queen is like, they that was their rock opera, aren't they? And the I like what you said about the themes being rock, like related, or like rock adjacent. Maybe that's where the tiger comes in. Eye of the Tiger, come on, classic. But yeah,
Actually, yeah, maybe. That is, I was wondering if we were gonna get a Survivor needle drop, but maybe it's a little bit too poppy for this movie.
yeah. But like Bob said, this a guy who drives around in a van with a giant tiger spray painted on, like, that's the guy who not only watches this movie, but if you talk to him, would probably say that this really happened to him, kind of thing, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's interesting points about the themes tying back to the rock music. I could see that.
What did you guys think the point of this Starling story was? Because I know you talked about it, Sana, but I genuinely am not sure what I was supposed to get about Mandy from that story, other than that, like, she didn't have a great childhood.
I think it was that, and then like also she's the starling, like she's the innocent one who gets beat to
Mhm.
death. Um, just
Right.
for the sake
I
of, I
was gonna
think
say
that was
that.
kind of what it was going for. But
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I was more thinking about the line that, like, she was talking, there was a lot of emphasis on the fact that when it was her turn, she just ran away. Like, she didn't stop it, but she ran away. And I was like, okay. So in my head, I was like, oh, when she shows up to the cult, there's gonna be like another person there, and she's gonna have the opportunity to save them, and she's gonna do it. But then that didn't happen, so then I was just a little bit confused by that part. But maybe I'm reading too much into it.
To me, like Mandy always just seemed like a device. Like she's
Mhm.
just a device for Nicolas Cage to have a transformation. Like she's not, to me, she's not even really a character. Like she's just like trauma, and then Nicolas Cage sees her as like a, like he's the savior, and or
Right.
like he's gonna save him in a way, like his soul or something, because she's so innocent, and then she
Yeah.
dies, and there's no progression with her, and then it's all of his character development. So like Mandy didn't even really need to be a person. She could have just been like a
A dog.
bookkeeper or something. You
Yeah,
know?
no, I think the reason that I'm kind of stuck on it is that I'm trying to make her into a more 3D character than she was. I think in the movie. I think you're right. Having her
Yeah.
just be like she's mostly just like trauma
Mm-hmm.
as like an innocence represented as a
Yeah,
person. So,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Okay, that tracks then. That makes
So,
sense.
I mean, I think all of the characters really serve more as archetypes than characters themselves because I agree with what you say about Mandy, but I think you can also apply that same thing to every other character in the movie as
100.
well. Like, none of them are really that three-dimensional. They're all very driven by one thing, or they just serve a narrative purpose rather than really, being very evolved and rounded as characters. So it's kind of like operating within this massive archetype framework of the story, and you kind of just have to take the characters at their base levels because if you get too in depth and you get too complex, you're just sort of watering down the basic story that it's just a revenge movie and it's about the vibes. And they're not trying to like write an Oscar-winning screenplay here with this. It's really just it really just is the vibes.
So you're
That's
saying
all I have to say.
turn your brain off to watch this movie. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think you need to turn your brain off, but I mean, you can enjoy it either way. You can go through and pick apart all of the little pieces of symbolism, whether or not they actually mean anything. I think a lot of it is also just inspired by that sort of pulp fantasy where it's all very convoluted and speechy and symbolic, but like how much of that stuff actually means anything and how much of it is just trying to sound cryptic for the sake of being cool. It's almost kind of like teasing the audience a little bit into like thinking that it's maybe deeper than it is. Sort of like how Under the Silver Lake also treats the audience like that into thinking like calling you out and trying to read into everything when there really isn't something necessarily under there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just wanted to say a revenge story, and it did. But
Um, Jen asked in the chat there, did you guys find the visual style slash vibe serve the story? Did neon lights add anything other than vibes? I think kind of with this discussion we're having about how it was a representation of music in that kind of way, I think it did because it gave it almost like a music video kind of vibe. Um, was there like a deeper? I mean, his name is red, which is a color, and there's a lot of blood, which is also red. But I don't know if that's the best analysis of all
Something
time. Jen?
that I felt, and I didn't really realize it until after, is when it goes into the bathroom scene and it's like kind of normal lighting. I mean, there's a lot of bright colors because of the wallpaper, but it's not like neon, whatever. And I was so relieved. I was like, I can see again. I was blind, but now I see. And I think especially in the one of the last scenes with Mandy with the cult leader guy, just like the the shadows and the darkness, I was like, I'm not, this isn't helping me get into the story at all. I'm like, I can't see, I don't think it has a real like purpose to serve. It didn't feel like it came from like a source. In the scene later on when Nick Cage uses the what's that thing called? Crossbow?
Oh, the crossbow, yeah.
Yeah, to shoot one of the weird guys off and his like and then the car flipped and all this stuff. The neon lights were like red and yellow, and I liked that because that felt like it was kind of sourced from like the headlights of the car off the road and all this stuff, and I thought it worked in those instances. At like the beginning with like the purple hued neon, it was like pissing me off. And it was kind of giving like classic LSD trip visuals that I think are a bit lame. Like it's like the guy who does LSD once and like talks about it every chance he gets kind of vibe. And yeah, so I was curious if maybe there was like a deeper meaning to anything with the lighting.
Yeah, I couple things. What you just said reminded me also about the ending of the movie. Since he ends up in this like hallucinatory world, maybe the lighting was all kind of leading to the finale. You know, when it shows him driving and like the world just not at all the same as what it used to be, right? And it's like all purple hued, and it's like his new reality. He's never gonna leave this weird purple pink uh, LED light or neon light universe. So maybe it was all kind of lighting as foreshadowing, possibly. But as far as the guy who does LSD once, I really enjoyed the hallucinogenic visuals of this movie. There were parts. A lot of movies do it, and a lot of movies, I agree with you, can get very cliche very quickly. I don't know if anyone saw Drive Away Dolls, but the LSD scenes in that movie were terrible. But with Miley Cyrus. But these ones, like I like the close up with the guy's mouth coming in and out of focus, like, and just the kind of sinking into these characters' mind states. I was expecting it almost to be even trippier in the later parts when it's like more Nick Cage focused and Mandy's dead. like when it's just him and he's on drugs and he's killing all these people, I was expecting his perception, his distorted perception to play more into the camera for us as audience. But despite the lighting and all the crazy stuff that happens, they didn't do that as much. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, well, like with I like that kind of interpretation, especially with the end and him go like kind of going forever into that world. Like, was Bill Duke the
Hmm.
actor in that scene who said like, yeah, these black skulls they took that batch of LSD and they never came down from their trip. But then like in other parts, like when we first see the cult in the van, like it's not that like purple huey. If that was used as a device to show like the kind of cult LSD world, I feel like that would make sense. It was like kind of whenever it felt like the right time with no real purpose.
Mm.
And I could be completely wrong and overreading this, but I was like maybe again like it's him versus like Mandy. Like the we have like the omnipresence, which is the evil, the darkness that always exists and then it like encroaches upon them. And then like them two were the blue. So like we have this innocence versus darkness kind of imagery that was slowly taking over the more and more he became like the killer. But again, like that might be me giving it too much credit.
Yeah,
No,
no, that
I
makes
want there to be credit. I
yeah.
want there to be, yeah,
I like
that
that.
makes
I
sense.
mean, I kind of had the same feeling as you, Jen, kind of when they were in their house before it got normal. Like, if the first half hadn't been like bright blue, I feel like I would have been way more on board. But I was like, you're not falling asleep in there. Looks like an
No.
aquarium. Um, but I wanted, yeah, I feel like if it had been more of a juxtaposition, because I thought it really worked during the hallucination scene with Mandy and the cult leaders. Um, and I liked it kind of, as Lucas was saying, sort of representing Red getting drunker and higher and crazier and crazier. But since there was never like a moment where it looked not even not elevated, but where it just kind of let you breathe, kind of like you're talking about in the bathroom scene, I feel like that would have helped if that had happened a little bit more in the beginning.
That would have been interesting. I like what you said, Gwen, about like if they had kind of held off on the trippy visuals before till after everyone started getting trippy, maybe it would have been a bit more effective. I don't think that's the movie that he was trying to make, like we've talked about. Like I think he was going more like, I want this to be like a metal album. I want it, or like the movie Heavy Metal for those who've seen it. Like I want it to be nuts the whole time, but which is fine. But then you kind of lose that turning point where where things go from normal to not normal, right? Everything is the whole world is already kind of called into question from the get go, with the crazy lighting and stuff like that. Um,
Maybe this is a hot take, but I think the use of neon lights is 99% unwarranted every time
in this movie or just in general.
in general.
So you didn't like it in this one?
I mean, I like it in this one. I think it works purely on the vibe approach because it's sort of building this otherworldly, occult-like, demonic kind of dream world that very early on establishes that this isn't like a normal reality that this movie exists in. The whole thing is basically some sort of like rift right off the get-go. Maybe they're all dead already. Like who knows? But just as like a rule of thumb, I don't like neon.
Okay.
I think it's a lazy way for cinematographers to trick people into thinking they know how to light things, but really they don't. And that is why I hate Euphoria.
Wow. Okay. Let's
Or
not
if,
go there, guys. Let's not go into the hating Euphoria thing. Before we go there, Gwen mentioned. Well, she said, "What do you think about green?" What about the green thing? That's what I want to bring up. What
yeah,
was going on when he comes home and he watches the commercial for like whatever, and then he just goes. Someone explain it to me, please.
I don't know
I don't
what it
even remember
was. And
this.
then there was like the mac and cheese thing. I was like, what the fuck? Because he's not even drunk at that point, right? Or am I wrong? Was he drunk
I think
when
he
he
was
saw the mac
high
and cheese
because that's
thing?
the end of the movie. That's when he gets. Isn't that when he? Isn't that when he
Not the
gets?
mac and
Oh
cheese
no.
thing. The mac and cheese commercial with like the cheese goblin.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh
What
shit.
part of that
It
movie
was the same guy that made Too Many Cooks. That's crazy.
is that? What that was?
Did DC say that?
According to
Because if he
DC.
said it, it's a lie. Um,
No, that is true. I found out today.
Wow.
I think they're
I mean, it
friends
makes
or
a lot of
something, and
sense.
he just made the commercial for that part of the movie.
oh,
Love that.
okay. Well, sorry I called you a liar,
It's okay.
but
Well,
still
well,
not
I mean,
exactly the
it,
same guy.
he's friends with the guy who made the cat in Too Many Cooks, not Too Many
Oh,
Cooks
okay.
short itself. Yeah, but they're all
Oh,
friends, I
okay.
think. Something.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what was the green thing. I don't know what it was. I rewound it like twice and I was like, I don't know.
Okay, when does it happen in the movie again? Someone remind me. I thought it was
It,
closer to the end when he's already tripping. Was it earlier? I thought it
it
was
pops
towards
up
the end.
a couple times. It happens once in the first act and then once in the in the near the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what it was. Yeah, sure. Symbolism of greed. Let's just call it that.
Or,
I
or
don't know.
or is it? Does it happen before he goes into the bathroom and starts drinking all the vodka and stuff like that? Because
Yeah,
he
I
gets
think
home,
he's still with.
he undoes himself. He gets home. He walks in. The TV's on. He watches the commercial, and then he goes and does. Is that right? And then he goes and drinks the vodka. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, maybe. I don't know what was green, Jen. That's what my question is. It just was like a shot of something bright green, and I don't know. It looked like a gem or like a weapon, maybe. I don't
Literally,
know.
I have no recollection of this whatsoever.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna go do some research on green. You guys talk about the She's Goblin.
I remember no
ChatGPT, what is the green
green.
thing in Mandy?
Explain
I
green
you said ChatGPT, not me.
Like
No,
not
I know,
even like what
I
it
know.
means. Like what when was there green?
and the cartoon bits
Is
that
that
you're looking
what
for.
okay.
Sorry, I don't know.
It
What
was just
I
like
just
a
remember the
cut
Green
in
It
Goblin.
doesn't
a couple
matter.
times.
I just remember the Green Goblin guy. No
Oh,
Willem
the
Dafoe.
cartoon bits, the animation.
Um,
I didn't care for the animated bits.
no surprise there. Jen
You just
hates
skipped the
animated.
animated bits because
Yeah,
you
No, I
knew it
didn't
was
skip
coming.
she put it
them,
on double
but I
speed.
was
She
like,
put it on double speed
okay.
during the cartoon bits.
It's
The
like, yeah, why not throw another thing in here for fun?
well, the cartoon bits were very much again to bring back the heavy metal movie. Very reminiscent of that. That was the kind of the style, which it's like a movie from the '80s or whatever. It's bonkers. But
I love it. It's on
yeah,
my shelf.
it's a classic. But that's again going back to this movie being like a metal album or a rock and roll album. Maybe Scott's watching the movie as we talk. That's love the dedication. He go ahead, Gwen.
Okay,
What's going on?
okay. I found it. Apparently, it's confusing because it's not just one thing. There are multiple like satanic artifacts that the cult uses that just glow green,
Mm.
and it happens like three
Oh,
times in
okay,
the
yeah,
movie.
right,
But
right,
it is
right.
three different things, which is why I couldn't figure out what the hell it was. But apparently, one of them was like a, hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. I saw Blade of Abraxas or something, Horn of
Yep,
Abraxas,
yep,
Tainted Blade of the Pale Knight, and then the third one is just a jewel.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Mystical.
It means satanic or cult artifact, apparently.
Yeah, it could be cult artifact. Could be something that the cult leader uses to kind of again maintain his power. Um, good to know. I'll be watching out for that. Um, but yeah, yeah. Or I wonder if this is don't know. But yeah, the Green Goblin commercial, him getting home after that traumatic experience and sitting back, or not sitting back, but like watching it and then carrying on. And it's very cool that it's from the Too Many Cooks guy because I just discovered that thanks to the DC's article about that short, bizarre thing. I wonder how they know each other, but that's interesting.
They're probably roommates in college or something.
Something like that.
They both were in the arts programs. But yeah, what about the other extended dream sequences? I know Jen, you didn't like them, but what did everybody else think?
The cartoon ones.
Yeah.
I shared my piece on that. Who else has some thoughts on the cartoons? Animated animations, I should say.
I like.
Oops. Fair. Period.
I like them. It was like one of the only parts of the movie that weren't bright red, so that was nice.
Um, yeah, I like them too. Like I said, it reminded me of the. I like when movies, for most movies, when they do like an animated sequence. Reminds me, of course, like Kill Bill does one, and they do one here as well. It's a nice break if it's warranted in the story. And obviously, this movie is so weird and hallucinogenic that it makes sense that they would just drop into an animated world and then pop back out. It's kind of one of those movies
I
where
wish.
anything goes.
Sorry, this is like lagging now. I keep interrupting you, Lucas. I'm so
It's no
sorry.
problem.
Um, no, I like the animation as well. I wish there was actually more of it. It might have given us more Mandy as well.
Um,
It gave us naked Mandy.
was she naked
Yeah,
in the
it,
Maybe
one?
that was the purpose.
Anything is better than nothing, honestly, at this point.
well, would have
Yeah.
been nice if she spoke.
I thought he was gonna be a god or something with that whole resurrection piece, and they gave us nothing with that animation.
Yeah, I kind of thought she was coming back.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
But then he
Lucas,
would have to
shush.
write
No,
her. Then he would have to continue to write a deep
a female
character, a
character.
female character.
What about the other old lady? What was her deal?
She was
She was
classic.
annoying.
She was classic old lady, cult lady. Listen to what I say. Let
Yes.
this scorpion
Yeah.
bite you in the neck. Don't worry about it. Like, okay.
Okay, but that also, that is something I wanted to talk about because that was no scorpion.
What was it?
No, that was like a beetle or some
Yeah.
That was
weird.
fake. Well, yeah, but like, what was that?
It was a drug. That was like a.
And
Is that where they get the special sauce
I think
for the LSD
it was
batch?
probably part of it. It's like those hallucinogenic toads, and
I was just about to
I
say,
thought,
like the one from Friendship.
yeah, exactly. Same
yeah,
same thing.
I thought the sauce came from the aliens,
What
Maybe the bug
aliens?
is the alien.
Were the aliens
the
the
ones
guys
that
on the
ride the
bikes?
motorcycles. Yeah, like
Are
the
they
big like.
aliens or are they
They,
just demons?
I don't think
Well,
they
the,
were
I don't
either. I
know
think
if
they were
a
just guys that took that crazy drug and they never came down from their hallucination, and that's where
but
Nick
then why
Cage,
did they have to call them with a special flute?
because it's badass. Why else?
I think it's more badass if they're aliens.
It's true.
Or demons. It would have made it biblical at the very least, and there was so
It wants,
much biblical stuff in it.
yeah, it wants really badly to be biblical, so it's
Yeah,
like, watch, we'll burn the cross. We'll
Yeah,
put nails through his hands.
I
Like,
would say, yeah, I would say demonic more than alien. It works more within the themes of the movie. And like there's no ships involved. You think the aliens are gonna go around riding fucking motorcycles and RVs and shit? No, they're gonna have a spaceship.
Hold up.
There
but in
was
the
no
very,
Demons
spaceship.
on a motorcycle makes more sense to you?
Yes. Have
demons
you
would.
seen
yep,
Ghost Rider?
Yeah, demon. Whoa, Nick Cage.
Oh my God, that doesn't count. No.
when they
It's
first
connection.
appear, they're like their lights are up in the sky. They're like out of focus, and then the lights come down to the road. It's like they were in the sky, and then they're on motorcycles.
Mm.
But to me, I read that as them coming from space, even though I do think demons would be better. But it was giving alien for me.
What if they're already in hell and they were coming down from purgatory?
Wow.
Maybe, but
That's
I think
Maybe.
Or a higher circle of hell if it's a Dante
Yeah.
framework.
what
What if
Scott.
heaven is actually hell,
Yeah.
guys?
Okay, you guys. I think what Scott says
What if the earth is
is
flat?
the point I'm trying to make is that the guy in the trailer scene explains about these black riders and how they took this drug and they never came down from their high. So they were humans turned demons or just turned crazy guys through this drug, and that's why it's so important when Nick Cage takes one little taste of it later because he sends himself into that world.
Yeah.
He becomes
Okay, so they're the Nazgul.
perhaps,
That's
yeah.
cool.
That's how I see
Okay,
it.
that also makes sense. I don't know.
Because that's why Nick Cage's world was so trippy at the end. He was never going to come down because he's in the demon world now. But in a way, it allows him to reconnect with Mandy because if he's hallucinating the whole time, then Mandy's right there with him because what's reality at that point?
Did
Mm-hmm.
the demon alien bike riders show up before he had that drug or after?
They show up before because when they go and meet the when they go and meet the cult people, that's like what they pay him in. I forget what the transaction is, but then the cult guy gives him the drink of the protein shake from hell, and he
Right.
downs it, and then they exchange goods. Um, but and then after that, Nick Cage goes and meets the Caruthers character in the trailer, and they have this exposition scene, which was necessary, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting then because if they were just the people who then got high and never came down, to then have everybody else that would make sense if they were seeing themselves in that way, in that like demonic form. But if everybody else is also seeing them in that form, then that would, to me, imply that it's something beyond just their own head where all of this crazy shit is happening. And especially if it's before Nick Cage has some of that good kush and starts tripping too. Because then it would make sense if he just started seeing them that way after he had already started tripping himself. But I think there's got to be some more other stuff to it, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. I don't know.
Um, yeah. I mean, we will go for a little bit longer, I guess. Sonny, I just want to mention you wrote in your article about how this is like how it plays with the themes of grief, and I thought that was kind of a cool topic. I was thinking about the whole time while I was watching the movie because I read you before I watched it. I don't know if that was the right thing to do, but I did, and I really liked that. It was a very it's like the weirdest way possible um, to portray grief, especially in the past couple of years. There's been a lot of grief movies, and this one was just like it's so out there, but in a way it kind of is. It's like Nick Cage kind of like coming to terms with losing his the love of his life kind of thing. I thought that was a cool way to look at it.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm grappling now with me maybe like over deepening, as my brother would say, the movie and also really enjoying it. Yeah, I went in with this whole thing being like it's just an emotional investigation. Like the plot is that he's sad and the plot is that like he doesn't know how to cope with this grief. So you get like the color schemes, the music, everything is just kind of this degradation of this character who doesn't know where to place what he's feeling. And then it kind of implodes on itself. And you know, I guess like you could argue if you really wanted to read it, like maybe the demons are a manifestation of that grief too, or whatever emotion that they're feeling, they get kind of corrupted by it. But
Mm-hmm.
again, like what I'm learning now is like maybe it was literally just vibes.
I don't know. He makes you go kind of both ways. The director for this one, he wants it to be vibes, but at the same time, he again with the whole opening, it's like he obviously is trying to get to some sort of emotional depth here. So, yeah, I think it's fair,
I mean,
warranted
like,
to read some of it.
yeah, like there were some papers that I was reading or some of his interviews where he was talking about the fact that like it did stem from a moment of grief, right? Like that was kind of essentially what he was exploring in this. Um, and I think like it was really important too that it felt jarring at times. Like, you know, you have this character again who's like I think it was the rawest perception of what an emotion could look like, in the most dramatic way, which kind of worked for me at least. But yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Cool. Anyone got more something they want to get off their chest before we start wrapping things up here? Now would be a good time to. If you got anything else, you let me know. All right.
I think it's just a good vibes time where you can read into it as little or as much as you want to. And there's not really any right or wrong way to read it. It's just whatever you make it.
Mm-hmm.
And who gives a shit if something doesn't make sense? Because it's the rule of cool. It looks sick, so I don't care if it doesn't really make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad I watched it. I've had this like sitting on my shelf since it came out for years and I never got around to watching it. So if nothing else, it was a good excuse to watch to finally get around to it.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys for joining the chat here. If you want to leave, yeah, a rating, we do some ratings usually at the end. If you want to leave, if you want to say your rating, or if you want to leave a rating in the message, that's cool.
Are we
Um,
rating the movie or are we rating how good this discussion was?
the rating of the discussion.
Okay.
We'll do that after. Um, but for me personally, this is like a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed the action and stuff like that. When it got going, I was really in for the ride. But just like I said in my article, the length at the start and some of the long takes um, brought it down a little bit for me. But it was still fun. I mean, it's still a cool movie. Um, feel free to share yours if you want. If you want to say something. 65 to 70, an 8 out of 10. Yeah. And then you guys are probably. I really hated this movie. 0 to 10. I want my 2 hours back. Wow,
Zero.
Bob, you're bringing this in
And you didn't say
an
anything the
hour into
Yeah.
whole
the
time?
Holy
discussion.
cow.
He
What a
drops the
bomb to
0 out
drop
of
at the end.
10. No comments. Just straight zip.
Just hater energy.
Why have you been avoiding this movie? Such a weird one. Okay, hey, Bob with the bomb. Exactly.
Yeah.
He didn't want to bring the room down. I think he did. Lolola's giving it a 7 out of 10.
He just
Um,
wanted to deflate the balloon right at the end.
yeah.
Hell yeah, Lola.
The last thing I got to do is bring up the spinning wheel and decide who's picking the next movie.
Wheel.
I still don't know how to do a screen share within Discord. Sorry about that. Let me.
It literally, if you
For
move
real,
your
there's a
mouse,
button that says
there's a
share
button
your
that says share your
screen.
screen.
What?
It's next to the
Right at
Go
the
to
green
where
one
the
bottom.
that says
mic,
camera.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
Just make sure your porn tabs are closed before you share.
Oh, don't you worry about that.
Well, we all watched this movie together, so.
Discord will turn that. Oh boy. Sorry guys. Now I gotta enter my password here. It's like Mission Impossible. Oh, I gotta quit and reopen to do that. So okay, next time I will share my screen. Okay.
Okay.
Next time I will share my screen. So
Okay.
chat amongst yourselves while I figure out put everyone's names in this thing. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
I'm taking.
Do you and Jen remain off of the wheel until
For now, yeah.
everybody?
We got a few
Okay.
people here that we can get in here. Okay, cool. I feel Bob is my cheese. Bob is a cheese goblin. 0 to 10 doesn't even take the stage to explain himself. Unbelievable. It's okay. Let's move on. Let's spin
He's
this wheel.
alien.
You guys ready for the spin? I'm gonna do it.
Ready.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, Jen.
What, you mean a smut film can't be a 1 out of 10? Come on.
Wow, guys, picking the next movie is Lola. La Lola, you're picking.
Hey.
You were picking for the December challenge or December movie club. You don't need to pick right now, of course. We will talk. I will message you and we'll get it organized in the next coming days. But congrats. As usual, the rule is we try to pick a movie that you, Lola, have never seen before. So it could be whatever, something that's been on your watch list, or you can do like Sana did and just pick a movie off of Google. It's up to you. Thank you guys, and as always, you can find we got a lot of writers in here that write on Pelaplat. I write on Pelaplat. You can continue the conversation there. Join the movie challenges that we're doing. We're doing 2 new ones next month in December. We're doing a short story one with a theme of rebirth, and a film one about the theme is film that defined my year. You can win cash prizes in there. They're a lot of fun. It's a good way to work on your writing skills and get involved in the community. For more movie club info, it will be posted on Pelaplat, but I'll also post it here on the Discord, my Instagram, wherever. Yeah. Cool. If there's nothing else, guys, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you guys all coming to this. And we'll see you again in December for Lola's
No.
pick. I'm stoked that Lola's picking the next one. That's gonna be awesome.
Yay, time to go make soup. Bye.
See ya. See you guys.
Bye bye.